I'm going to be doing a book review video, and I have 5 books. One of them sucked, and then the other ones were really good. So I'm going to do the one that sucked first. This one, sometimes, I read books that I'm pretty sure people, when I review them, probably don't read. And this is one that I'm like, I don't even know why they even made it. And it's a sequel. So here is what it is. It's literally, the title of the book is literally what the whole thing is about. It's called The Book of Lists 2. It's the People's Almanac presents The Book of Lists 2. It's by Irving, Wallace, David Wallechinsky, Amy Wallace, and Sylvia Wallace. And this is what it looks like. And basically, I don't even remember, I had this book for a while, and I don't remember, where I got this from. I don't remember, and, I've been wanting to read this book for a while, because I was interested in reading it, because I seen it on my list, and I was like, oh, I want to read this to see what it's about. And let me tell you guys, it is exactly what the title of the book is about. It's basically a book that's separated into different parts, and each part has a ton of lists in it. There was and this book is old, this book was in the 70s and stuff. There was ones about 12 famous people who changed their birthdays, 12 most liked girl and boy names, 13 least liked girl and boy names, top 15 top leisure time activities of American men and women. It was more random. I didn't even finish this book because that's how stupid I felt this book was. And I don't know where I got this book from. I can't remember because that's how long it's been on my shelf to read. But it was just bad, you guys. So I don't recommend you read it. And probably nobody would read it anyway. This is the second book in this series. This series is called The Amish Cooking Class. And the first one I did a review on, it's called The Seekers, I think. Yeah, The Seekers. I have it over there on my bookshelf. I'm trying to see. I think, yeah, it's called The Seekers. And this is called The Blessing. This is the second book in the series. And it's by Wanda E. Brunstetter. And Wanda E. Brunstetter is my favorite Amish writer woman. And I think she writes, the best ones, in my opinion. I've read different ones by different authors, and she's, the best one that I can recommend. And this is what it looks like. And what this book is basically about, it's about this Amish woman who teaches cooking classes in her kitchen. And, it's the same thing like the first one, where she's teaching these people, and they have all these different problems that they're solving, plus the main woman, the Amish woman, her and her husband can't have any children. It's not like they're infertile or anything, it's just they can't have children together. And the woman's name is Heidi, and what happens is in the beginning, it happened in the last book, where this woman named Kendra was pregnant. And her parents didn't, kicked her out of the house. She didn't know how to how she was going to raise a baby on her own. So she decided that she was going to let the Amish woman, Heidi, and her husband, Lyle, adopt their baby. And in the beginning, what happens is it starts out where Kendra is living with them because she has nowhere else to go and everything. And she gets a call from her parents saying that they want her back to help, and they'll help her help raise the baby. So there goes their dream of adopting a baby. And throughout the book, she's trying to be happy for people that have babies, but inside she's dying inside, because she's that's something I can never do and stuff. And then her husband wants to do adoption again, but then he comes up with an idea of doing foster care to kids and stuff like that. And there was all these different stories that go along with it, but that's the main storyline. Yeah, it's kind of sad in the beginning, but it does get better at the end. And the next book in the series, as soon as I this book has been at Walmart for a very long time, and I have not been able to get it because of different reasons and stuff. Or I've been I just been forgetting to get it. And The third one, I seen as soon as I was finished reading this book, literally, Wanda Brunstetter's site on Facebook, or her profile on Facebook, showed the trailer for the third book in the series. And it's supposed to come out in February 2018. So in case you guys are wondering if you really like this series. This next book I'm going to show you is the Chesapeake Shores series. This is the 5th one in the series. I'm trying to make sure I got that right. It's called Driftwood, Cottage, and it's by Sheryl Woods. And if you haven't seen the last one I did was in my Part 1 Christmas book review videos of the Christmas book review. Of the Christmas book that came right before this one. And you have to read that Christmas book before you read this one. So in case you're like, oh, I can't find the Christmas ones, or whatever reason, you have to read the Christmas one to know what happens in that book, to know what happens or understand what happens in this one. And this is called Driftwood Cottage. This is what it looks like. And basically, like I say all the time, each book is about one of the O'Brien's problems. And this one is about Andrew. I keep wanting to call him Andrew because that's his real name. The guy who plays Connor on Chesapeake Shores in the Hallmark series. His real name is Andrew. And I always want to call him Andrew, but it's Connor. Connor and his girlfriend, Heather, both want different things. They're both together. What happens is they both have a son together. And Connor doesn't want to get married because it's basically like they're at like a standstill in their relationship where, you know, they were girlfriend and boyfriend. They got to like the next step, but they never want to, it's not like the fiance step, but it's like a step like close to that. And it's like they have a serious relationship. And basically it's, Connor doesn't want to get married because he's seen that marriage doesn't work, true love isn't real, he says. And then she really believes in true love, and she says, you know, we could get married and it would be whatever. And he always brings up reasons why not. So basically what happens is he has to, his family is trying to get him to reconsider his stance on marriage, because he's like, you know, they've been saying, you know, if you don't marry her or, you know, keep her for yourself or whatever, however you want to like explain it, something will happen where they will go away. And that's basically what happens in this book, and he doesn't know what he's lost until a tragedy strikes in their relationship. And that's basically about it. It's basically about Connor's story. It was a really good book. I really liked it. I liked that book. I mean, I think all the Chesapeake Shore books are good. Now, these books, they are not like the Hallmark series at all. Like, they are totally different. So if you watch the show and you want to know about the books and the show, I mean, the only relationship that's the same or whatever is Abby and Trace's, but that's just because they're the two that are get together. The ones that they have on the show for all the different other people, those are different on the show than in the book. So this one is a mystery book, and I like reading this woman's mysteries, and it's really weird. It's called The Cat Who Tailed the Thief, and this is like a series. All she writes, or all she wrote, I don't know if she's still alive or not, all she writes is about this guy named Quill, Qwil, and his two cats, and him help solve mysteries that happen in their small town, in Moose County, like 400 miles away from nowhere. That's what they say, like usually in every sentence in the beginning of each chapter. Every sentence usually starts out with that in the first chapter of all of her books. And this is what it looks like. It's by Lilian Jackson Braun, that's her name, and this is what it looks like. It's a hardback book. And this book happens around Christmas time. And it's about how this young woman who married this rich man, her husband, this woman that marries this rich man dies. Yeah, and then what happens is this last heir to this rich family's place, the last living blood relative of this rich family that lived in this county, she gets married, and on her honeymoon, she dies. And Quill has to figure out why did she die, and people are thinking it's her husband, and everything else, and people were like wondering why. Goes, oh, was it because of the money or whatever? And it's a really good book. I really like it. It's a really cute book, to be honest. Like, I mean, these are really cute because I guess, like, you know, they live in a small town, and it's just really, really cute. So this book is by Stephen King, and it's not by just Stephen King. It's called Sleeping Beauties, and it's by Stephen King and Owen King. Owen King is his son. And this book is a hardback book. I got this at Walmart, or well, I guess you could get it at Target or books or whatever. This is where I got it. And I read this just by itself before I started reading my books for my Christmas book review video. So that was like a very long time ago, it seems. I think like the beginning of November I read this. And it has a lot of pages in it. And it has 700 pages in it. And I don't know how many chapters are in it, I can't remember. But this is what it looks like. It is a big book, like I said. And this book, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, like, if they both wrote it or they collaborated, I don't know. But it seemed like they drew it out. And what happens is it's about this town where this sleeping curse thing happens to only women. And it's happening throughout the whole entire country and continent and world, where women just go to sleep, and then these weird cocoon things appear all over their bodies, but they're still alive inside these cocoons. But the men realize that if they cut out the women from these cocoons, that they end up going crazy. And what happens in retrospect is these women when they get into these cocoons, they get transported to this weird city sci-fi thing where it's only these women. And it's really weird book. And the thing is I thought it was going to be a book where they were going to do it where it was going to be about the guy's perspective, and then in a different chapter or in a different, because you know how like in some of his work is the chapters, and then there's like different little parts to it for different people's point of view in the story. Well, I thought it was going to be something like that, where it was going to be like, okay, one chapter is going to be about, okay, like how are these men dealing with losing their women, their girlfriends, their daughters, whatever. And then it was going to cut to how these women are doing in this book with being in this alter world by themselves and whatever. And that didn't happen until the very end of the book that happened. And basically it's about what happens is when this thing happens, it's about there's this one woman in jail. It's this woman's jail, and she is supposed to be like the witch, where she can go to sleep, and she won't get that cocoon thing all around her body. And they say she's the witch, and she's the only person that can help them get their women back. So what happens is they find the entrance to this world, and it's up to, what happens is all these women that have been inside this alter world have to decide if they want to go back or not. And if they all go back, then everything will go back to normal. But if some people stay or whatever, I guess it's something where, like, if some women decide to stay, then the women that went back would die or something in these cocoons. I don't know, something weird like that. It was just an okay book. Like, it wasn't, like, the best, in my opinion. I mean, I do like Stephen King books. Like, I read all of his books. But this book was just okay, because I feel like everything got drawn out until the very end of the book, like the last 2 or 3 chapters, and I feel like there were so many excerpts in this book that they could have just got rid of because it had nothing to do with the storyline at all. But yeah, it wasn't like it was bad. It wasn't that it was really, really good. It was just like, okay, I guess. And that's all the books I have for this book review video. So I hope you guys comment below. Please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time with another video, and hope you guys have a wonderful day.